Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
About each other.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower, Mr.
Mister. I'm not taking a lot of credit because I've done this before.
Well, it wasn't elite when Aaron Rodgers at the end of his career was there, Jim Rutledge. That sounded really silly for Jim Rutledge to say they've leveled down. So if Jim Rutledge is going to say they've leveled down?
It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, let me ask you a question.
My mind.
I'm already tired, by the way. Just hearing all of this, I'm already tired and exhausted.
It was, it was
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside John Audius. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
I'm Jim Rutledge. I have the power in the Everlight Solar Studio. I am alongside John Audius and Primetime Laura Scheim. I'm not alone today, Primetime. Yesterday, Matt Hamilton was here via the Zoom or whatever we use, our video camera to get Matt on the show. He didn't join the show for the first segment, trying to get things worked out on the electronic side of things.
Yeah, we had about 80% of Matt Hamilton yesterday.
Yeah, the technical difficulties were a little bit rough, but we got rolling with Matt, and it was a fun show. Today we have John Audius in the Everlight Solar Studio. You can see me, John, and Ryan on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. We are the home of the Milwaukee Brewers. And now, Ryan, let me make sure I got everything right here. The best team in baseball, best differential in baseball, run differential in baseball, obviously best team in the National League. 4-game lead over the Chicago Cubs. And I believe the Brewers haven't lost a game in 17 years, or where are we at right now for that?
They haven't lost a game ever.
Right.
Jim. And they're going to win like 162 this year, actually. So Molly Brown's record prediction that they're going to win 100 games, she's going to smash the over.
And the Cubs fan in me is getting annoyed because it's like, all right, you got two terrible teams, Washington and Atlanta, and now you got the Mets who are scuffling on the way in. So Brewers get a lot of breaks, but look, you know what? The Cubs have not been playing the Brewers or the top teams otherwise as well.
The Cincinnati Reds.
The Reds are better than the Brewers have faced, but the Baltimore Orioles and I forgot who they faced for that were pretty mid. So the White Sox have been played in the second half. So the Cubs are not playing a gauntlet either.
No, not much is impressive about the Cubs competition. The Brewers isn't crazy either. But John Audius, you're the host today. You're the co-host. You're our guest. Where are you on the Brewers right now?
It feels different. This season feels different, and it's probably because of all the things we just talked about, how they haven't lost a game this year. I think it feels different, but at the same time, for me, I temper my enthusiasm because I understand that baseball is baseball, and just because, we're in early August and everything's humming and it seems like they're going to win 100 games and make the playoffs and win the whole damn thing. 1 4-game losing streak by them and a 4-game winning streak by the Cubs, and you feel totally different about the season. So I think with the Brewers, it feels different, but I'm still trying to step back and realizing that it's the sport of baseball and anything can happen.
Yeah, the old adage of you end up playing to the back of your baseball card might not work for the Milwaukee Brewers, because if we just ran through this real quick, the Brewers right now, Andrew Vaughn having a career year.
You mean Barry Bonds?
Right. Or at least the best stretch of his career. But a career year, if you stretch this out overall, I would say overperforming the back of his baseball card for sure. Bryce Terang, I would say, is probably performing to the back of his baseball card.
Probably a little bit better as a hitter.
Okay.
And his fielding's always been elite, but his hitting, he's like 290 right now. He's really good.
So maybe slightly above. Ortiz below. Then you have Durbin. He is playing above what you'd expect out of him. He doesn't have much of a back of a baseball card.
You wouldn't expect him to be playing in the MLB, so he's definitely playing above his weight right now.
Contreras, he's been a little bit better. He might be below his baseball card. Christian Yelich is playing above, mainly because he's played more games than I think he's played in the last few years, because last year he was out at the All-Star game.
Please knock on wood.
There you go. And then Jackson Churio is now, I would say, having a career year. Now, natural progression. And then who else is out there? Who am I missing? Isaac Collins. Yeah, career year.
Isaac Collins is crazy.
Yeah, and Who else am I missing out in the outfield there? Sal Frelick, career year. But again, there's some natural progression for these guys.
Injury concerns for Sal, the big thing right now.
Yeah, and then pitching-wise, Quintana is pitching like he hasn't pitched in forever. Mizorowski's just hit the ground running. Quinn Priester having a career year. So literally everyone on the team, or 90% of the team, is having a career year. Damn. And maybe it just stays like that for him.
And that's also what I'm a little hesitant is because everything that Andrew Vaughn has given the team has been awesome, and like you said, playing above the back of his baseball card. But is that something that you can rely on, or that you expect to continue for another couple months? Probably not. And that to me is, I just hope that he doesn't go cold at the wrong time,
or at least until Hoskins gets back. Because I did laugh at my brother, and I guess it's seeming more real. My brother's a big Brewers fan. He's like, they're going to have a decision make when Hoskins comes back. A decision for what? Andrew Vaughn wouldn't even be in the major leagues. The Brewers never would have called him up if Hoskins didn't get hurt. But the thing with the Brewers
what's going to happen to Vaughn then?
I'm guessing he just gets sent. What do you do with him? Because I also feel like if he's not
hit, they're going to keep Vaughn in the lineup somehow. I think they'll probably have Reese be a DH, and then they'll put Yelich back out in left field. And then you figure out just with the platooning in the outfield, Churio, Frelick, Collins, and Yelich, you would just kind of play around and mess around with that game to game, I would think.
If he continues on the streak.
If Vaughn continues on the streak. You mean since joining the Brewers, he's hitting .373 with 7 home runs, 27 RBIs, 14 runs in 22 games.
All you have to do is you can look at the team coming in, the Mets, or you can look to the Cubs in the division below. Baseball, you will have hot and cold streaks. The big thing is not getting hot and cold at the same time. And for Cubs, the Cubs are all cold at the same time. All their top hitters going into yesterday's game, maybe one or two of them climbed above, but all their top hitters are all batting under 200, under the Mendoza line since the All-Star break. Meanwhile, they had the best offense in all of baseball going up to it. Those players didn't get bad. It's just the baseball scuffle. So hopefully for the Brewers, their lineup doesn't scuffle too bad. But the one thing you have going for you that I think I know the Cubs don't have and a lot of teams don't have is the pitching staff. Like the rotation is something with the depth of it. You can believe in it. And the only questions really is like, can Woodruff stay healthy, and can Mizorowski be enough and be healthy enough and not have, if he's pitching past his normal amount of innings, does he still have that stuff late in the year? Those are my questions around the pitching staff.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm going to try to simplify baseball for everybody. You score runs, if I'm correct here, and the other team shouldn't score as many. So when you're top 5 as a team, boom. When you're top 5 as a team in ERA, and what are they in runs scored? I think they're top 5-ish to 10-ish. Like I think
they're
pretty
top 5. Good. They somehow generate runs. Even
you're
though
doing everything that you need to do to be a successful team, I guess is my point. You're scoring runs, and you have a great pitching staff. So that combined with hot streaks by guys like Andrew Vaughn, 70 wins, like you're feeling good about the Brewers. It's just that can that continue throughout the next couple of months?
Because it's one of those things where like, is this going to work and be special because they're doing something that baseball teams haven't done in the last 15 years, which is basically death by 1,000 cuts? Or will it go back to people don't do that because it doesn't work in the long run? The good thing for Brewers fans is you're not going to find that out to the playoffs. Like you're going to, I would bet on them winning the division. They're going to go to the playoffs. So then it's like, all right, well, it's already a fun season, and now it's a matter of, well, let's just wait and see what this lineup does against elite pitching. And when it comes down to elite pitching versus elite pitching, is a lineup like Phillies with Schwarber and some other big bats, big thumpers in there, is that going to be the deciding factor between the Brewers, who have to work so much harder to get runs? It's back to the NFL and the Packers, where everyone talks about you want the chunk plays because grinding it out for 5-6 yards, or in basketball, you shoot the 3-pointer because it's more efficient. So the launch angles and the home run type ball and the slugging percentage ball has been around because it's been more efficient.
Let me ask you a question that's inspired by Kyle Wallace in a quote I saw on X about how he said something about if the Packers don't get to 11 wins, it's a failure.
Yep.
If the Brewers don't exit out of their first playoff series, if they don't advance, is this season a failure? Because they're going to be right around last year's win total, right?
At this point, yeah. If they don't win a playoff series, it'd be pretty dang. The fact that they've been leading the MLB for the better part of a month at this point, you would expect them to make it at least to the NLCS, yeah.
Can I point this out too? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
With the Brewers, I think they're going to win the division. But you talked about how they won 93 games last year, and let's say they win 96 this year, and they top out and they lose. I think fans will be in the end, disappointed. But as I've always said with Brewer fans, like, it's still a Packers state, and we'll get to that in a minute. But like, you turn your attention to the Packers, and so it doesn't sting that bad ever. But the one thing, there was a lot of talk about Pat Murphy winning the NL Manager of the Year again. I don't think the Cubs are going to win the division, but I promise you this: if the Cubs win the division, Craig Counsell is going to win Manager of the Year.
It was egregious behavior.
The Cubs had 83 wins last year. To win the division, you're probably going to have to get 95, 96 wins. If they go from 83 wins to 95, 96 wins, that's going to get him the NL Manager of the Year. And it's also going to be hard for Murphy. They don't really want to give it to the same manager 2 years in a row. So it's already hard for him to do it. But if the Cubs win the division, I don't think they will, but I promise you, Craig Counsell will get Manager of the Year if the Cubs win the division.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is whoever wins the Central is going to win NL Manager of the Year?
Yeah, and it's not that important of an award, but
right.
It's one to have. It's one you want to have kind of feather in your cap.
But you know, talking about 93 wins, 96 wins, and then if they do exit right away in the playoffs, that is also something that just bugs me about baseball, that you as a fan can invest months every single day, and it's awesome, and you get to watch Andrew Vaughn and winning 70 games, first team to get to 70 games, the pitching staff is in the Miz, and it's so cool, and then the playoffs come, and then it's done in like less than a week.
Right.
That's what sucks about baseball sometimes. It's just
it is a lot of time.
You get the 8 months of the year, and then it's done in a week.
So that is a great way to get to our siding limit of poll question. You can chime in 844-770-3776. Carbos Talking text line. Less is more. We all know that this is a Packers state. This is a football state. And I did the jump around earlier today, our Badger dedicated show that's on ESPN Madison's YouTube. It airs normally at 12:30. You can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Riley Yauk does a thing called the Badger Twitter portal. And there was a question posted that he pulls. So basically he pulls things from Badger's Twitter, and we'll answer a few of them on the show. So Mr. Joe Nunamaker chimed in with, if the Badgers not winning a game.
Hold on, by the way, that's at Joe Mama 1567546.
Okay.
We got to give him proper credit.
Yes. If the Badgers not winning a game meant the Brewers win the World Series, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. I'd sacrifice the next 5 years of Badger football for it.
Okay.
Which is, I would just say that Joe Mama's probably not a Badger fan because that's a brutal stretch. I don't.
And he's saying not even win a game,
right,
for 5 years.
So what I wanted to do, we kind of brainstormed this together, is that this is the Packers state. The Packers haven't won a Super Bowl since 2010, so it's not like it's almost old enough to drive. So it's not like they've been, they have so many Packer fans that they're like, oh, I don't care, some to spare. So we thought we'd ask the question: would you give up 5 years of the Packers making the playoffs? So 5 years of the Packers missing the playoffs is basically how we're setting it. But would you give up 5 years of Packers making the playoffs for a Brewers World Series title? That's our siding limit poll question, 844-770-3776.
Now, Primetime was very adamant during the pre-show meeting that's a lot. That's a half decade. That's way too much. And I think you're probably right that most listeners of this show will probably say no. But I just want everybody to sit back and think about this for a second. Mm-hmm. You get to do something that's never been done with the Milwaukee Brewers, and all you got to give up is 5 years. That's it. 5 years. You can go back, and they can win the next 5 Super Bowls in a row after that. And Jordan Love, wraps up his career as this amazing Packers career. I think that's something you really got to sit down and think about, because in the grind of a baseball season and everything it takes, even luck, so many things factor into baseball. Number one, you got to have the talent and be good, and then the guys got to have hot streaks, and then you got to have great pitching, and then you got to have luck, because there's so many damn games in baseball. Like, think about this one for a moment, because I think if I'm a Packers fan, if I'm a fan of sports in this state, I think I might do that. I think I might take that one moment of glory, that perfect season that you're going to remember for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, the rest of your life. All it takes is one, and that's that you're set as a fan. Listen, I grew up in Minnesota. I was a little kid. I don't think I appreciated it as much as I would if I was older. But 87 and 91, like, you still live off that, man. Yep. For the Minnesota Twins, you still live off championships 40 years down the road. So I would think long and hard about that.
Yeah, I mean, as a Bears fan, I was 5 when they won the Super Bowl, but the Cubs World Series 2016 was pretty great. But I also was a diehard Bulls fan, so I will live off of it's funny when people are like, oh, Chicago sports fans had it so bad. Well, no. I mean, like
I got to witness the greatest, like one of the greatest player of all time.
And I'm in Wisconsin cheering for it. Those who lived in Illinois or in Chicago even had a better experience with it. So they're not. They want more, but they had 6. And by the way, the Blackhawks also got some too. So like winning the titles do mean a lot. They do carry a lot. Those fan bases carry it with them.
I would love to hear. And by the way, just vote on the poll question, but leave a comment because I would love to hear your rationale as to why you would say yes or no. Because I think a fan in this state, you'd have to think long and hard. And in fact, I would probably give up 5 years. I would give up 10 years of every Minnesota team losing, not even winning a game for a Super Bowl. I'd give up the next 20 years. I would have the teams leave the state.
Yeah.
There's only one team in Minnesota. Just give me one Super Bowl. I would give up all of that.
But that also goes back to somewhat of what Jim's saying, like the Packers and the NFL being king. Like,
right.
If it's for if in that situation, if the Packers had not won a Super Bowl ever, and then you were giving up the rest of Wisconsin sports for it, I think it would be a more balanced poll question, honestly. I think this poll question we just pulled out is going to be like 80-20, give me the Packers in the playoffs.
I think that'll reflect poorly on Brewers fans. So
I
hope
don't
Brewer
think so
fans
because I think there are Brewers fans who are diehard fans like that, but they are just more Packers fans at the end of the day. And that is a lot to do just with football and the NFL as well as what baseball is nowadays. Because I think the core Brewers fans, the ones who truly live and die by it, who we're going to have one joining the show later today, Dom Cotroneo of WTMJ, pre- and post-game host for WTMJ for Brewers games. Mm-hmm. I guarantee he would give up like 10 years of the Packers making the playoffs for a Brewers World Series. But I think that's a little more of like a pocket, a niche part of the fan base, I would say, rather than just general Wisconsin sports fans. General Wisconsin sports fans are still Packers fans by and large.
Well, how about this? Because you would say no, primetime. Is there anything else you would take? Like, negotiate with me here. Would you give up something else for a Brewers title? Is there anything you would do?
I'd give up like 5 years of the Bucks not making the playoffs,
oh.
especially just because they just won the final. But you asked me, what would I give up?
But that's not much giving up.
That's not
because you already got a title there,
and because they might be heading that direction anyways. But for a Brewers World Series, I'm not giving up Badgers football. I would the Joe Mama on Twitter. I can't get down with that at all.
What about the other way? Would you give up, let's say, a Packers making the playoffs for a Badgers national championship?
How about 5 years Packers for a Badgers national?
For a national championship?
For
a natty? I mean, that I don't think will ever happen. So getting that, I would give up a lot for a Badgers national championship college football
So
playoff.
It basically comes down to which teams you support or love the most.
Yeah, and I think I would wonder the balance between like how many Brewers fans would give up 5 years of the Packers missing the playoffs or Badgers fans who would give up the Packers making the playoffs. I think there'd be more Badgers fans who, like, if you did this with the Badgers, our poll question we just put out, I think you'd be slightly more balanced, 70-30 maybe. But I still think it's very Packers. It's very, very Packers.
It's very early, but right now it is 80-20. Give me the World Series. J&K Security Solutions, they're locally owned, they're veteran-owned, they're family-owned. Okay. They can protect your home or business from anywhere in the world. They also provide commercial fire protection and commercial security. So contact our good friends at J&K Security Solutions. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
So then they have to text the person, and she goes, yeah, I know, like, she makes them, like, with ginger specifically. I'm like, that must be what it is. It's ginger.
Gotta be ginger.
It's ginger. Because I'm like...
Hold that Benadryl. I'm fine.
Those were just ginger cloves. Those weren't nuts.
Yeah, ginger clove. That's a thing.
Yes.
That's real.
Clearly. Obviously.
It's not. No such thing as a clove of ginger.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Medicine on YouTube.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Clinky Cleaners has been in business for over 65 years, and they've had document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems for right around 30 years. CFO Sean Young explains why.
Probably the best thing about James Imaging that's worked for us is they're reliable, they're dependent, they always make things easy for us.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and local people who make doing business easy.
They're quick to come whenever we need them, point out lots of simple things for us to try to save us some money and save us time and eliminate headaches.
So Sean, the bottom line of having business technology from James Imaging Systems?
I just appreciate the work that James Imaging has done for us. They're always looking out for our best interests.
James Imaging Systems. Make it easy, save money, eliminate headaches. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
When it comes to your health, do you want to buy something online or do you want to meet with someone local? A local doctor with a family-owned business that cares about you. That's right. You want to meet with Nestor Rodriguez and Ashley Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. You have questions about cryotherapy, red light therapy, hormone replacement treatments, GLP-1s, or you just want to have a great workout. Carbon World Health is there for you. They have a new location in Sun Prairie, and they have their original location in Madison. So when it comes to your health, there's nowhere better to go than Carbon World Health in Madison and now in Sun Prairie.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside John Adias. We are presented by Coors Light. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. Molly Brown is on her way to Arizona. She sent a photo of the clan on their way out there. I think there's a bunch. I guess you call it, what would you call that large of a group? 7? How many people are there? There's Molly, her husband. She's got
5 kids then.
5 kids, so 7 people.
7? That's a squadron.
A squad?
That's a squad.
I think that's a squadron.
All right, she's sending the squad. They're all on the plane. They're all on their way down
5
to
kids?
Arizona. What's that?
How many kids does Molly have?
So she has 2 stepkids who are from her husband's first marriage who are a little bit older. So
that's better.
That makes it easier.
When you said 5 kids, I'm thinking,
yeah,
oh
but
my
she has twins
God.
who are less than a year. Yeah, less than a year, and then she's got like a 2.5-year-old. Yeah. So there's still a lot. There's still 3 little ones.
Oh man, I feel like is that a vacation?
I don't know. They take the whole.
You know what I mean?
They take the whole row.
It's
on
a
the
vacation because she's going down to her parents' place in Arizona, and then they take care of the kids.
Oh, okay. Once you get there,
that's probably the vacation.
Yes.
Well, there's so many kids, so it's still you can't really expect that out of as someone who has parents and you have the grandparent side of it. Like the little ones are a lot, and then especially if there's that many little ones, you kind of still have to be around.
But don't you feel in like 20 years you would love to do that?
I'm not saying that they don't
like
want to. I'm just saying that like, let's say you don't trust them, but it's like, well, it's the little ones, and there's 3 of them, and there's 2 of you, and you've never been outnumbered like that. I don't know her exact situation, but like that would be some of the concerns. It's like you go to your, but I'm still like when they were younger, it's like we still were like around, but like my parents would watch them and everything, and they'd happily, and same with my in-laws, but. There's still kind of, and my in-laws were, my mother-in-law runs an in-home daycare, so she is around little kids all the time. So that was very much like, all right, sure, you almost hand them off to a professional.
Yeah, for sure.
They never stopped caring for little ones. So I'm sure that'll be part of it, but I don't know when she's getting back. I know she's back on the air with me on the 18th, but I don't know if she's down in Arizona for that whole time or if they're coming back earlier or how that all works. But she took the day off yesterday to be able to pack everything. So there's a lot going on with that. And she missed yesterday Freddie Coleman, and John, you caught this, coming back. I mean, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but John, you hadn't had a chance to. And, football is king here in the state of Wisconsin, and to the point where this leveling up and leveling down conversation that started on Unsportsmanlike on Tuesday with Evan Cohen, who will be joining us next segment, has kind of taken off locally and nationally. But Freddie Coleman had this to say about my take that the Packers, and this is where the line of differentiation comes through, the team has leveled down. Matt LaFleur is the coach, and I feel confident in that. If you want to talk about Matt LaFleur, the coach, and all that, that's a different conversation, or you want to throw Jordan Love in there, that's fine too, but the team is still not to the level they were under prime Aaron Rodgers with LaFleur. But let's hear Freddie Coleman come at me.
Well, it wasn't elite when Aaron Rodgers at the end of his career was there, Jim Rutledge, because I seem to remember a 13-10 playoff loss at home to San Francisco to Jimmy Garoppolo on the other side being your quarterback against the Green Bay Packers. I also seem to remember that when you had to have a chance to go to the playoffs against the Lions team in the second year of Dan Campbell, that you couldn't beat them at home. I also seem to remember that after that, Jordan Love won a playoff game and led in another playoff game against San Francisco and got the team back to the playoffs in an injury-filled year last year. That sounded really silly for Jim Rutledge to say they've leveled down. They were leveling down when Aaron Rodgers, not trying to shade on him because he's an MVP, but I seem to remember Aaron Rodgers giving away an NFC championship game away against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when the game was there for the taking in the second half, and he kept throwing the interceptions when Brady wasn't playing well. So if Jim Rutledge is going to say they've leveled down since Jordan Love, he might need to look at those numbers again because that Jim Rutledge.
Yeah, I mean, it's like to have that voice.
He was very mad.
That sounded really silly.
He's got a really a heck of a voice, too. And, yeah, he was upset. Or passionate, I should say.
I've heard a ton of this leveling up, leveling down, listening to the show this week, and I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said, right? You're talking about the team's success. Jordan Love just happened to be the quarterback. Matt LaFleur was the coach before and after the leveling up and leveling down. That doesn't mean that Jordan Love's contributions aren't important to the team, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're talking about wins and losses. And wins and losses are not just a reflection. Like, I understand that people take more blame, like quarterbacks and coaches, but there are so many things that go into wins and losses. It's special teams, it's offense, it's defense, it's playmaking, it's luck sometimes. So the fact that statistically speaking, wins and losses, success within the playoffs, they've absolutely leveled down. But that doesn't mean that Jordan Love isn't a great quarterback or did great things for them in, a couple of years ago in the playoffs. That doesn't mean that at all. That doesn't mean that Matt LaFleur is a bad coach. I think what you said was just like kind of factually correct. It's not a slight to any of those guys. It's just go look. I pulled up profootballreference.com. You just go look, and I think what you're saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, is 13 wins, 13 wins, 13 wins. Yep. 2 conference championship appearances compared to 8, 9, and 11 wins after, right? Like, that's all you're saying is that they've leveled down. And by the way, one more thing. Yeah. If this whole playoff thing in the NFL hadn't changed half a decade ago, they wouldn't have even been in the playoffs. We're talking about a team that 5 years ago isn't good enough to even be a playoff team. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying something that, when you look at the statistics, is factually correct.
Thank you, but I agree as well. It's just there seems to be a conflation of Matt LaFleur doing a good job, the transition from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, and that is true. And the team has not fallen off a cliff, and maybe they've done better than expected in the actual handoff. But if we're asking the question if the Packers have leveled down, yes, and it goes back to
initially the thing you had said was that Matt LaFleur had leveled down, not the Packers, but that the Matt LaFleur had leveled down after he lost Aaron Rodgers, essentially.
Well, yes, because the Packers had leveled down and he's the coach,
right?
So as
because
a coach,
it just happened to yes.
And so I'm holding the coach responsible for it. But the question that's been asked and that Tauscher got upset about and others have got upset about is really asking, have the Packers leveled down? I believe that's the question that was specifically asked on Unsportsmanlike. And the answer on that is clearly yes. Because they went from running the North, Kings of the North, to being behind Detroit and basically flipping year over year with Minnesota for second place or third place in the division. And the 11 wins, everyone in the NFC North outside the Bears, because they were terrible last year, had inflated wins because they played the worst division of football. What'd you have? The Titans and the Colts on the schedule. What was the other?
They did beat the Titans and the Colts without their starting quarterback, though.
But it's still, and Jordan Love doesn't get credit for those. But
no, we're not saying he did.
Does.
Matt Hamilton is
but
not
my point is, everyone kind of got fat, off of that. The team still, the Packers this year, I think winning 11 games is way more. Honestly, probably Packers winning 10 games this year will be more impressive than them winning 11 games last year.
Yeah, probably, given the schedule. They do play the AFC North. They play, obviously, the NFC North as well then. And then I think they skip playing the Chiefs or any of the good teams from the NFC West. But it is a gauntlet this year.
My bottom line, though, when I finally absorbed all the information and what I thought you said, and I heard the Freddie Coleman clip as well.
That sounded really silly.
It seemed like people are looking at what you said and saying that Jordan Love is not as good as Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And it's that's the reason why the Packers have, quote unquote, leveled down.
Right. So they're agreeing with me. They're just giving a specific reason as to why.
Right. And is Jordan Love as good as Aaron Rodgers?
No. And it's not close right now. And actually, JB from the V, who is a Packers fan, is really an anti-Jordan Love. The Packers have 100% leveled down since Rodgers left. We used to be the Kings of the North. Mark my words, we will go 0-6 in the North next year. Wow. We were lucky to beat the Bears last year. Pathetic. And then also to our Siding Unlimited poll question, 844-770-3776. You can chime in the Carl was Talking text line. List is more. We asked, would you give up 5 years of the Packers making the playoffs for the Brewers to win a World Series? 81% of you so far have said, give me the World Series. And Mike from Madison chiming in more on, I guess, primetime, but us Badger fans in general, Wisconsinites are so desperate for a championship that they'll celebrate losing the national title.
We do that for the basketball team.
You can watch Made 'em Believe on ESPN Madison's YouTube stream.
It's
a massive celebration of a second-place team.
Dude, would you celebrate 1982 in this state?
We do, yeah.
That's crazy, how long ago that was. So, yes, and that, to me, is the exact reason why you would take 5 years of losing. Is because you celebrate a World Series loss how many years later? Like it was the greatest thing in the world, which I'm sure was fun at the time. Yeah. I was 3. But now imagine a World Series title. Yeah. You will never forget about that. It'll be the highlight of your sports fandom as a Brewers fan if they win a World Series.
Cobble World Health, you can go there. You can obviously do their workout facility on the Madison location. You can go to their Sun Prairie location and do the med spa treatments like Molly's had. But at the Madison location, they also have cryotherapy, red light therapy. Either location, you can ask them about GLP-1s, the popular weight loss, FDA-approved weight loss drug. Go see them. They're the ones that can help you with the weight loss treatment to make sure you're seeing a doctor to make sure it's right for you. They also can help you with hormone optimization and a hormone replacement treatment to make sure that you are living the best version of your life that you can live at Carbon World Health. That's what they strive to do. Evan Cohen coming up next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
So, random Marlin player, Dan Ugla.
All that's going through my head right now is UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
I'll give you another one real quick before we get to our Siding Unlimited poll question.
You ugla. You ugla.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
She was sweet until she met jalapenos. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Spicy Hawaiian Lovers Pizza, part of the $12.99 Hut Lovers line from Pizza Hut. Get one of their 4 large topping-packed pizzas. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the new Spicy Hawaiian. Just $12.99 each for a limited time only. Head to one of their locations or order online on the Pizza Hut app before it's gone. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
I just really want to put out Trech Kakalunga because last season, too, I mean, that guy balled out. I think he hardly had like 6 catches and almost surpassed, like came close to 200 yards because he had such big explosive plays. I think, again, Jaden Ballard, Vinny Anthony, and Trech, that's a lethal combination.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Ben Bruss here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the belt line at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
But, like, it seems like you're deferring to someone that's not actually on the show. And she's already your girlfriend. Friends are people that you're honest with no matter what. So I'm questioning whether or not you actually know how to be friends with someone.
He doesn't need a pat on the back. He's not you.
Well,
who's a good co-host?
And Evan Cohen, who co-hosts Unsportsmanlike right here on ESPN Radio.
From Madison to the Big Apple, it's time for Evan Cohen on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge and John Adias with you. Molly Brown on her way down to Arizona. Matt Hamilton in Minneapolis. He got a physical earlier today. All things have checked out with Matt. He's still an Olympic athlete, so he will be competing in his curling tournament this weekend. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. And the last time we had, and John, full circle moment here, you were listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly the last time Evan Cohen was on when he rightfully buried Molly and I, not Matt, because Matt doesn't have any expectations for not listening to Unsportsmanlike. And then I feel like every day this week, well, since Tuesday morning, we've been talking about me getting dunked on Unsportsmanlike by either Chris Canty or Freddie Coleman or Michelle Smallman.
Jim Rutledge.
To hear Freddie Coleman say my name is insane. But Evan, thanks for coming on, and thanks for bringing I guess an insane take I had to the masses.
I didn't do that.
Okay. Well, primetime Warshine, we've gave Ryan his full credit for it, but you are the host with Chris Canton. You can hear Evan and Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Madison weekday mornings. You are still the host of the show.
Right. So this is the weirdest part about this. All of a sudden I see a sound sheet and I see Jim Rutledge, and I'm like, what?
Jim Rutledge?
Why is Jim Rutledge on the sound sheet? And then we had a whole topic built around you. And literally in the pre-show meeting, I'm like, why? I was very confused by this. Like, one would think that this was all a master plan by me of like, hey, let me bring it up on your show that you didn't reference our show. and then we have this great crossover. Like, this is how it's supposed to work. Like, both of you, I know, have worked in radio for a long time. In the dream scenario, every show is connected like this. Like, that's the dream.
Yep.
And usually the connection happens with people that know each other. And Jim and I have known each other for 20-plus years. This had nothing to do with me. They didn't even know that I destroyed you last week on this show. That's the most amazing part. So what I'm guessing, and I don't know, and happy birthday primetime, what I don't know about what happened here is that there was a post-show conversation amongst our show about making sure that the stations we're on across the country are doing a better job of giving us audio that is like big audio from their show, right? So I sent a note to the people that I know, like, hey, a little cheat sheet here. You can backdoor your way into national radio and TV by just giving us good stuff. So I'm guessing Primetime must have heard that from someone, but it wasn't me.
So it does all go back to actually last week today, Evan. It goes back to you calling us out for not listening enough. Well, because of that, the next morning, Jim, Matt, and Molly was doing a takeover of Worldy and Tausch. And being the honor-bound producer that I am, I knew I needed to listen to all 4 hours of Unsportsmanlike that morning in case there was any good topics to bring up immediately after your show, Radio 100.5 ESPN. And it happened that Molly Brown was listening to the very same thing. We both heard Chris Canty saying that he has more respect for Nick Sirianni than Matt LaFleur. And we knew we wanted to talk about Matt LaFleur, talking about whether he was a true leader of men as a head coach after some of the things that were happening in Packers training camp last week. So that's where we incorporated the sound from Chris, and then that's where we got the remarkable take from Jim Rutledge that led to this remarkable take from Freddie Coleman.
That sounded really silly.
So it just all comes full around to you, Evan, obviously. You flapping your butterfly wings, and then that's how we get on national radio. It's pretty incredible.
Well, now, John, I'm curious to know your thoughts of all. Let's get an assessment. The voice of Badger Volleyball, where I proudly wear my Badger Volleyball gear on TV. John Audius, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw that gear. It looks really good. I agree with Jim Rutledge, and it's simply because if you just look at records and what you have done or not done in the playoffs, they were better with Aaron Rodgers under Matt LaFleur. Now, I think the thing that makes people a little fired up about this is it feels like a slight on Matt LaFleur, or it feels like a slight on Jordan Love, and simply saying that the Packers have leveled down isn't taking anything away from the type of quarterback that Jordan Love is or can be, or the things that he has accomplished. To me, the way I saw it from my perspective is, okay, yeah, you won more games with Aaron Rodgers overall with Matt LaFleur as the coach than you have with Jordan Love. And then I like to add this in because I'm still stuck in, from 5 years ago when they expanded the playoffs or whenever that was. And if this had been 5 years ago, the Packers wouldn't even be in the playoffs. I mean, we'd be talking about not even being in the playoffs because they snuck in as the 7th team both times. So have they leveled down? Yeah. You just look at the records, and I think they've leveled down, but that doesn't mean that they can't be successful in the future.
So I think the core of all of this in reality is the Packers are being compared to the Packers. And the Packers' greatness at the most important position in all of American sports is better than any franchise over the last 40 years ever in terms of number of guys. Like, obviously, Brady was better than anybody the Packers had, but I'm talking about, like, the multiple guys. Right now we're on number 3 for them of at least better than average, right? Yes. Like, Hall of Fame, let's call it Pro Bowl, right? Teams would dream of that. So when Jordan Love in year 3, 4, whatever, 2 or 3, 4, whatever, however we're going to look at it, as a starter, as a player, whatever it is, because he's not a Hall of Famer yet, Jim's take is they've leveled down. Well, that's, and I don't mean this insulting, that's an obvious take based on the fact that he's being compared to Hall of Famers, right? Yeah. But in general, Jordan Love is better than the majority of quarterbacks in the league, or at least half the quarterbacks in the league, right?
Yep.
So the Packers' worst enemy in this are the Packers.
Without a doubt. I mean, they have high expectations because of who they are, and they're not bad in the transition. Canty brought up the transition they've had is amazing, but they went from NFC Championship games and always win the division to the Lions are running the division right now. And I don't I'm not saying that won't ever change. I'm not saying LaFleur is bad, but like they went from blue chip to good. They went from division titles to the last team in the playoffs. I'm not even saying that
Jim,
Jim,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Can you assess the quarterback position in Green Bay without acknowledging any other quarterback has ever played there? And just simply put blinders on, and you're like, okay, I'm going to assess the quarterback position with the Green Bay Packers as if this is an expansion franchise. How would you assess that? Because that's what people need to hear from you. Because it's going to sound like clowning on Jordan Love. So if we ignore that any other players ever played that position, what does Jim Rutledge think of the Packers quarterback position?
I think that Jordan Love, we know his floor, which his floor as a bare minimum is probably the 12th best quarterback in the league. I think most teams would kill for that. I think Matt LaFleur has built an offense and built a team that has allowed.
20
What's
wood.
that?
Like literally 20 wood.
Yes, you're right.
Right,
yes.
if the floor is like I'm
Yes.
saying, like think about it that way, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's 19, whatever the math is on that. Like 20 other teams would kill for their floor. Keep going.
Yeah, and Matt LaFleur built a very quarterback-friendly offense to be able to, and I know in the scenario we're talking about let's say he just popped into nowhere, but the fact that he was able to sit, learn the offense, fix his footwork, and learn how to be a professional for 3 years before he had to show up and play, set him up for success, which builds up his confidence. And now they're really just trying to work on the minutia of, hey, now you can call more audibles, and now you can call out the line protections, and now you know this offense backwards and forward. That all is fantastic. And he fixed his biggest flaw in hiring Jeff Hafley. So, I mean, we all know that I'm a Bears fan. Like I hope that's what the Bears just did with Ben Johnson. I would kill for Caleb Williams to turn out to be Jordan Love next year. If Caleb Williams does what Jordan Love did his first year starter. Yeah, sorry.
Stop. That's all you need to do. Now if you just take that clip and isolate it, I think everybody's clear on what you said now, right? That's that the Green Bay Packers have a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. At worst case scenario. Boom, stop. Right? Now I think your point is clear. Now, I have to ask you a couple of other things.
Yeah.
As this week progressed, and as you're mentioned on national radio and TV as much as you have been, the emotions have been what? Has any of it been insulting, proud?
No.
Like what is the emotions?
I would say, well, one, I was really confused. You texted me Tuesday morning, and it was before I had gotten up. And so when I got up, I opened my phone, I see the text from Evan, and I was like, okay, so I started streaming the show. But I texted Ryan in the group. I'm like, hey, Evan told me to listen. Let's make sure we can find. I figured it was a Molly Brown type mention where he just said my name somewhere. And then Ryan says, all right, they talked about you. Don't listen. I want it to be a blind reaction on the show. So then I had to go on my day on Tuesday. I had 3 meetings. I had to drive to Milwaukee. So then I'm just consuming podcasts and other things to avoid what's going on. And then the weirder thing was I get to Milwaukee and people are like, oh, I heard you on Wildy and Tausch. I'm like, oh, they talking about what was on Sportsmanlike. They're like, no, they're ripping your Brewers take. I'm like, oh, great. So I got another thing that I'm getting. So I was like, maybe it's a Brewers take. Maybe it's a Bucks take. I really didn't know what it was going to be until we listened live on the show. So, and honestly, I was bracing myself for it to be really bad. I thought everyone, you, Chris, and Michelle were all fair. And so that was exciting. And then the next morning I wake up and I see Freddie Coleman. I just see a tweet. I open my phone up and open Twitter, and I'm like, all right. And so I think I replied like, good morning. And Freddie was such a good guy. He followed me back right away and said something super nice. That
sounded really silly.
He's got such a passion and such a
Wait, Jim, before you finish this, let me just talk to John as if you're not here. John, here's the most amazing thing. So Freddie Coleman is known as and he really is in real life, the nicest guy in the world. Okay. Right? I don't think anyone would call me the nicest guy in the world. Loyal, ride or die, motivating, whatever. Nice. All right. Smalls, very nice. Michelle's very nice. Canty is very nice, but also you better be on your game or he's coming after you, right? But so none of us that are not always nice went after Jim. And the one guy who's the nicest guy that works at ESPN for 30 years is the one that goes after Jim Rutledge, which has to make you look at it.
That is hilarious because when I heard the Freddie Coleman take, I kind of stopped. I was like, oh my gosh, he came out swinging. I was like, geez, I didn't know it was, it made him that passionate. So that's funny that you say that, he's like the nicest guy ever because when you watch that clip, he was like coming. It was coming for Jim.
Jim Rutledge?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was funny, and I had experience because I think the week before I upset all Brewers Nation with a comment about the Brewers and maybe they could trade Peralta for Suarez. So a thought exercise. And so I already had everyone mad at me the week before. So this was honestly, I'll just be honest, I was flattered. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like, I was like, wow, people are, and like, I was more worried, like, do I sound ridiculous? But I was like, you know what? Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but at least I gave valid points, and I'm not like completely going complete hot take on it. So I actually was proud because I'm like, it's not a terrible take. I don't care if nobody likes it. I don't care if Tauscher comes on the show and yells at me and everyone's dunking on me. I'm still good with it, and it was super cool to be out and about and platformed like that.
It makes sense to me, and it goes back, like, you were just talking about, top 12 for Jordan Love. Just because you think the Packers have leveled down, like I said earlier, that doesn't mean that Jordan Love hasn't contributed and or has the potential to be even better than he has been. Because it's more than just the quarterback that determined your interpretation of leveling down. It's all things considered that the Packers leveled down. So when people brought in Jordan Love and made it about Jordan Love, to me, I thought, well, we're not talking specifically Jordan Love is on the team, they're worse now. Mm-hmm. You're talking about the totality of everything that goes into winning and losing football games.
But I could argue, guys, there is an argument to be made that since Jordan Love has been the quarterback, they've actually leveled up, and here's why. Not that he's leveled up. Like, I think there's more for him to do. So they finish 8-9 with a Hall of Fame quarterback, and now they're winning double-digit games with a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you think about relative to expectations, the end of Rodgers fell short of expectations, where the beginning of Love, you can make the argument, exceeded expectations.
It's the window you're looking at, right? Jim's looking at the bigger window. You're looking at the smaller window. And in the smaller window, right. I think you're right. I think both things can be true.
Well, I think we all
right. Because if you compare Jordan Love historically to Rodgers or Favre, obviously he's going to fall short. If you look at a 5 or 6 year span of what were the expectations, so Love's been the starter for 2 years.
Yep.
Is that right? 2 years. So what were the expectations the last 2 years of Rodgers, and where did they meet, or what did they do, versus what were the expectations the first 2 years of Love, and what did they do? I don't know that part is leveling down, to be honest. And I think that's a lot of CC's point. I think CC's whole point is, like, look what they've actually done, because he thinks LaFleur is very good. He thinks people actually sleep on how bad Rodgers and the Packers were at the end. Like that, hey, the last game, because I think the two most significant games, I think, in changing of the guard, in my view, of the last 5-10 years in the NFL, was the last game of the season, Packers-Lions, that ended the Rodgers era and began the Lions era and started Love and Rodgers and what he's like. There's so many things off of that. And I just think the Patriots-Chiefs AFC Championship game in 2019, even though New England won, it was in Kansas City, overtime game. That was the passing of the torch. That was the Patriots won the Super Bowl in their next game, and Brady played another year. And I look at that night as the last night of the Patriots era dynasty, because that was the greatest game I think I've ever seen. But those two games are so significant. And CC's whole point is we sleep on how bad it was at the end relative to the past of Rodgers and Green Bay.
And that's a very valid point. I think what we're all coming to is, and this was my point on LaFleur and Love, is that it doesn't make or break them, but they can truly write the story that I think some people are writing for them already, that Jordan Love will then elevate to be a top 5 QB, and then LaFleur is then viewed as a guy who can get his team to the Super Bowl. Because if Love goes top 5, Packers are probably in the Super Bowl. This is a major year for the Packers because.
Well, wait, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
No, this is interesting. You're telling me if Jordan Love becomes a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year, the Packers are definitely in the Super Bowl?
They've built their roster that he needs to be a top 5 guy. I think if he gets, I think their defense is good enough.
Different.
If he's top 5, their defense is good enough to put him in a Super Bowl.
The only issue I have with that is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have been top 5 how many years in a row? And I understand there's no Mahomes to go through, but I think somehow, I have no idea how the hell this happened, I think we've underrated the Eagles.
Yes, that's a good point.
Jalen Hurts John's wearing the Jordan shirt today. Where was Jalen Hurts all year? Hanging out, or all offseason, hanging out with MJ. Like, everything he says sounds like something Michael would say. I mean, it's like, I think somehow we've underrated the Eagles. Yeah. So I'm not suggesting they're the same thing as getting through the Chiefs, guys. But your take on Jordan Love top 5 means Super Bowl? Not if Jalen Hurts is 2 in the NFL behind Mahomes, which I'm not ruling out. I think he's that important.
I wanted to ask you this last thing because I think it's interesting because we all know how the Packers are, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the most important things for Wisconsin sports fans here. We are the home of the Milwaukee Brewers, and obviously there's a lot of excitement around the Brewers, and they're the best team in baseball, and hopefully that continues well into the playoffs. We asked this question, and I wanted to know basically what do you think the percentage split on it is? Would you give up 5 years? Would you give up 5 years of the Packers making the playoffs for the Brewers to win a World Series? What percentage of our fans do you think said yes?
So going to the playoffs does not indicate winning a Super Bowl.
No, yeah. So it's
And
5
they're
years. Well, no, it's 5 years of the Packers. They will not make the playoffs for 5 years. So you fell short 5 years in a row.
I bet you it's split.
It's 80% right now. Give me the World Series.
Take that for data.
And Ryan thought it would go the other way.
We're in the moment.
I know.
Why don't you ask that? Why don't you ask that in April?
Yes, true. Yes.
Seriously, put a reminder. I'm actually interested in this. If the Brewers don't win the World Series, which I'm not rooting against them, but I'm saying let's just play it out. If the Brewers don't win the World Series and the Packers make the playoffs but don't win the Super Bowl, put a reminder in April to ask that question again, and I guarantee you the results are different.
Yeah, it's the moment for sure. It's the 70 wins. It's feeling good about the team. It's everything they've done.
Yeah, you guys should play into that moment, but it's we're in the moment.
So to that, because it started because I did the Jumper on our Badger dedicated show on ESPN Madison's YouTube, and one of the questions we do a segment called the Badger Twitter Portal, and the question was posed or someone said, I would give up 5 years of the Badgers football team not winning a game for the Brewers to win a World Series. And I said, well, you're not really obviously a true Badgers fan on that. But the question would be, what would you give up, Evan, as a sports fan for Badgers, because you're an alum, for the Badgers to win a national championship in football?
What would I give up?
Like fandom-wise, yeah.
I mean, if you told me they had a losing record for each of the next 10 years after that for one national championship, I'd take that. Kidding me?
But don't you have to give up?
Hell yeah.
What we're asking is another team's fandom. Would you give up 5 years of the Patriots?
I'm the weirdest fan.
I was going to say, Evan is open about his fandoms, not maybe the best to use.
I'm a front-running weird fan, so I'm the bad. Let's just do it to the Badgers for me.
Yeah.
I would trade 10 years of bowls for one title, and I'll tell you why. And this is very specific. When I was in school, I did not realize how amazing I had it. So I was at UW-Madison from 98 to 02. So in my first 2 years, if you think about it, I had 2 Rose Bowls, and then I had a Final Four.
Wow.
Okay? And so now you're getting a little greedy, right? And you're in school, and you're like, okay, cool, Rose Bowl, top 5 team in the country. Now it's time for a title. And Barry Alvarez, to his credit, because he knew, and he altered the expectations because he knew, he would always say, it's about winning the Big Ten and winning the Rose Bowl. And I would always say, why doesn't he try to win a national championship? And then what we've seen recently, to Luke Fickell's credit, is he's trying to win a national championship. And as a result, not winning the Big Ten. And so mindset change, goal change, and it almost feels worse than it probably is because, you could tell Coach Fickell is like, all right, I'm beyond. Barry's done that. Bielema's done that. We need to move past that. And so the idea of winning a championship would actually be what Luke Fickell was trying to do. And oddly enough, it was not what Barry was trying to do. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that Barry was smart. He knew it was probably going to be impossible for that to happen because of a myriad of reasons. So if somehow, some way, they achieved what Coach Fickell walked onto campus thinking he was hopefully going to do and still hopefully is going to do, I think that would be so rewarding on so many levels that I would trade a lot for that.
Evan, awesome stuff. We appreciate it.
Can I ask
I will tell you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Can I ask one more question before Evan goes?
Yeah.
Jim, you had mentioned earlier how great it was to hear your name on Unsportsmanlike, getting to hear Freddie Coleman, Evan, Canty, and Michelle talk about you, as well as Brewers fans last week.
Yeah.
How much of that compares to hearing Barry Alvarez say your name, though?
This is utterly preposterous that I've even heard that. So you can tell Rutledge that.
Well, can you play the nice one
You've
from?
had some year.
Yeah.
You've had some year.
Can you play the nice one from LePay? Can you play the nice one from
collecting
LePay?
all the sound bites?
Oh, you need someone to fluff you up now?
What's this?
No.
your point is a valid one, Jim.
So I at least got one. I got one.
Well, let me see. So that's how many of those? So Alvarez, Freddie, Smalls, CeCe, and LePay. Everyone but Alvarez, I feel like I can influence to turn on you immediately.
Yes, probably. And they might have with my Brewers takes as of late, because like I said, that I got all Brewers Nation mad at me last week. So it's been a year. It's been fun. But I'm still here.
You're a villain. You love being the villain.
Yes, I'm comfortable with it. Absolutely.
Jim going to have to miss me all the way with what he talking about.
I forgot CeCe said that. And CeCe does it. He's so good that he does it in a way that makes the audience feel like you and he have talked forever.
I know.
Like the way he says, like he's so good at that.
Yes.
Play that again, Prime Time.
Yeah, Jim going to have to miss me all the way with what he talking about.
Like
Matt,
you know what I'm saying? He says it as if you guys have hung out before.
I listened to it. I'm like, wait, do I know him? Like, have we talked? So yeah, no, he was fantastic. It's been a fun week, Evan. So appreciate.
Right,
I know
guys.
it wasn't because of you, but it was still great. You guys started the conversation on Unsportsmanlike.
I mean, it's not because of me, but in that moment, it wasn't
Yes.
because of me.
Yes. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Evan.
See you guys.
All right.
thank you.
Let me give away a case of High Life real quick. What number should I do here, Ryan?
Let's just do caller number 3. Make it quick.
Call number 3 wins a case of High Life, 844-770-3776. Call number 3 wins a case of High Life, 844-770-3776.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
So since I didn't go to college, can I just claim one, like Wisconsin?
We should campaign for schools in the state of Wisconsin to give Matt free stuff.
All the UW schools. Whoever gives Matt the most amount of free stuff is who Matt will pay.
Yeah, that's a good
that
point.
is true.
Who wants to give me an honorary degree?
Where would you take your honorary degree from?
Literally anywhere. Literally anywhere. Clown school.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. A rising star? Freshman linebacker Cooper Catalano getting notable reps during fall camp. Jake Kokorowski of the Badger Observer backing up the young defender. His notes on the young talent during his appearance on the jump around.
It's been more and more impressive to kind of watch him, and he's received, some second team reps. I think he's carved out a role where with the way he can move around the field in terms of pass coverage, but also get down and downhill, I should say, and make plays against the run.
For long-lasting comfort and reliability, our craftsmen make it easy to trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 5 years at PellaWI.com.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Hey, it's Crash Gladys from Speed Freaks. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use limited time promo code ADULT and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. Listeners are making $200 to $300 a year just from buying the gas they already needed. Don't wait. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code ADULT to redeem your 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code ADULT. Yeah, at first I thought it was too good to be true, but it's completely legit. Plus, you can cash out anytime. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now by using limited time promo code ADULT. That's promo code ADULT for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
You love choices.
Like your choices with a Sweeto metal roof.
Choose standing seam or high-profile steel shingles that come in a variety of styles that last a lifetime.
Put a Sweeta metal roof on and take the worry off with choices.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Sweeta. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Sweeta metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Sweeta Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Hey teachers, we know you work hard to inspire future generations, so IKEA wants to say thank you and share some inspiration with you. From August 1st through the 17th, your local IKEA stores are offering all teachers and educators an exclusive 15% off your entire purchase during IKEA's Teacher Appreciation Days. Whether you're revamping your classroom, organizing your office, or rewarding yourself with a cozy new space to unwind at home, IKEA has got your back. So, stop by your local Oak Creek IKEA, fill up that cart, and then show your staff ID at the register to enjoy our special thanks and 15% off.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. The Green Bay Packers preseason starts this Saturday, and the big question is how many of the Packers starters will be participating? Well, head coach Matt LaFleur said on Tuesday that it'll depend on how he's feeling in the moment Saturday. But Matt LaFleur gave an update this morning about what his plan will be for how many of the team's quarterbacks will be playing against the Jets on Saturday.
Well, yeah, we'll do our best to give them all meaningful reps. Certainly some of those guys are going to play longer than others.
Certainly some of those guys would definitely include quarterback Jordan Love and how many plays he'll play in that preseason opener. Well, one thing we do know is that Xavier McKinney will almost definitely be out of that game as he is dealing with a calf injury and that he will be sitting out of practice for the foreseeable future. Though he said he's, quote, glad they caught it when they did and that he'll be ready when it's time to go. Head over to ESPN.com for all your news, notes, and updates from Packers reporter Rob Domofsky. Then the Brewers got to 70 wins last night. It's a franchise record for this point in the season. Dom Cotroneo of WTMJ will be joining us later to talk Brewers.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Murr.
It's Murr.
I'm the problem, it's Murr.
I'm not taking a lot of credit because I've done this before.
Well, it wasn't elite when Aaron Rodgers at the end of his career was there, Jim Rutledge. That sounded really silly for Jim Rutledge to say they've leveled down. So if Jim Rutledge is going to say they've leveled down?
It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, let me ask you a question.
My mind.
I'm already tired, by the way. Just hearing all of this, I'm already tired and exhausted.
It was,
Broadcasting
it was
live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. At the Mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
I'm Jim Rutledge. I have the power in the Everlight Solar Studio alongside John Audius. We are going to be joined by Dom Cotroneo coming up in a little bit. But we first want to, who won the High Life?
We got Mitch in Madison winning Mitch and Stoughton.
I was going to say, I know. Today. All right, Mitch and Stoughton, good job. And Mitch and Stoughton gets that case of High Life. Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bars of the Month. Listen to our show every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy the best High Life specials in Madison. Plus, to celebrate our love of dive bars, we give away a case of High Life to one lucky fan every Thursday. And the places you can enjoy the champagne of beers in its natural environment this month are Chief's Tavern, the Rail House, Ideal Bar, the Wisco, and Remington's Tavern. So, some great places to enjoy some High Life. I want to get back to our Siding Unlimited poll question. You can chime in 844-770-3776. That's the Cardinals Talking text line. List is more. Our Siding Unlimited poll question was, would you give up 5 years of the Packers making the playoffs for the Brewers to win a World Series? 80.5% of you say, yes, give me the World Series.
Okay.
Now, that's got to be surprising to you, Primetime. Primetime said the complete opposite would occur, that the Packers fans would come out in droves and say, no way I'm giving up playoffs for one World Series.
I think Evan Cohen had a great point, is that when we're
time of year.
It's the heat of the moment. Everyone's hot about the Brewers, as they should be. I mean, they are the best team in baseball right now. First team in the MLB to get to 70 wins. They're I think they're 26 games above 500. This is the earliest in the calendar that they've ever been 26 games above 500 in franchise history. There's a ton of reason to be excited and to think that this is the year. So when this feels like the year it could happen, then you're going to be overextending. Not overextending. Let me take that back. But let me say that you're going to be pushing your other fandoms a little lower because of the heat of the moment.
Right, and I totally get that. A couple of comments there on X. Football greater than baseball every day and twice on Sunday. Plus, the people voting yes in this poll aren't serious Packers fans. If that's the case, eye roll emoji. So the Packers fans are kind of speaking out there. And the reason I would say yes, I simply go back to 1982 and how much people talk about the 1982 Brewers. Guys, that was 43 years ago. I always like to do this just to put this into perspective. So the Brewers not winning a World Series and being celebrated for 4 decades is as close to us in the present day as the year 2068 is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, to put it into perspective, we're as close to the year 2068 as we are to 1982, and that's how long, like, people talk about not winning the World Series. Imagine winning the World Series. I think as a fan of all sports in the state, I think you should trade in 5 years of your quote-unquote favorite team not doing so well in order to experience something that's never occurred for another team. I think I agree with the 80%. I would do it.
Yeah, I think I would too. The other part I find interesting is...
So if you were doing this for your Chicago sports fandom, Jim, would you do this Bears-Bulls?
That's too easy.
Giving up 5 years of the Bears in the playoffs for the Bulls title?
But it's also kind of different because the Brewers have never won a title, but
Yes.
go ahead.
But I would go with the Bears. Again, I was 5, so I would take a Super Bowl. I would go probably Cubs because...
Cubs to win a World Series? Or?
No, I would say I would give the Cubs missing the playoffs or however you want to break it out. So they would be my sacrifice team for the Bears to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because the Bulls that was like the team of my youth. Like I still like to see them do well, but I'm more of a, like I said this yesterday, I think I've gone to like 100 Bucks games in my life. So like I like the Bucks. I enjoy going there. And they're really fun to watch. I've never had to really ever worry about the two of them being good at the same time. So for me, it's the Bucks are probably in front of it for me. So the Cubs are the other team in Chicago that I'm like, all right, I follow. Like I always joke, I'm not a huge baseball fan. I like the Cubs. So when the Cubs are good, I'm following along with baseball. If the Cubs are bad, I'm kind of checked out. So this year I'm more into it because the Cubs are good and they're competing with the Brewers. But I grew up in Wisconsin. John, you remember this, that the Brewers, I think, until 1998 were in the American League. Mm-hmm. So I was a Brewers fan and a Cubs fan.
You could be.
Yeah. And honestly, it was a choice because my dad's a White Sox fan and so is my brother. And I was like, you know what? The Cubs are on WGN. I already, I don't root for any other teams. I'll root for a Wisconsin team. And I, as a kid in the Cedarburg area, you went to a lot of Brewers games anyway. So I always joke, it's not my fault. The Brewers switched on me. I didn't switch on the Brewers. And again, I think they did that because, we have a theme here with the Brewers. They were cheap. I do think there was Bud Selig didn't want to pay the DH, and so get out of the American League and get to the NL.
Yeah.
So for whatever the reason, I blame the Brewers for me not being a Brewers fan anymore. I don't hate them because I was a fan of them until I was 18. So, and as a Cubs fan, it would be the Cardinals of the team that's like drives me insane. So back to the question, I would give up the 5 years of the Cubs being terrible or whatever for the Bears to win the World Series.
And just to chime in, if you're going to ask me, I would have the franchise. The Timberwolves could leave the state. The Twins could fold. The Lynx would never win another game. If the Vikings won a Super Bowl, I would give all that up just to have one Super Bowl title.
Isn't there like an MLS team? What about them?
The Minnesota United? Yeah. They don't have to ever win an MLS Cup?
How about you really put it on the table, John?
Okay.
You are the voice of Badgers volleyball.
Okay.
Would you give up 5 years of Badgers volleyball making the postseason for the Minnesota Vikings to win the Super Bowl? Now, there's a bit of a conflict because you are employed by Badgers volleyball to an extent, but this question still stands.
No, because I'd have 5 rings. So, if right? Or
Yeah.
No, I would not give that up. I'd rather have the rings.
Yeah. All right. Fair. When you have
Did I answer that?
When
I
your
was thinking.
own personal ring is at stake, that's
it's a little different.
Point, yeah.
Jeremiah Madison said he would do it for the Bucks, but not for the Brewers. He'd give up the Packers wins.
Oh.
We can ask our guest next segment, Dom Cotroneo, coming up next year. But let me tell you about Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Go see Tyler. Go see Aaron out there. I've definitely pulled my camper with my big blue truck all summer. I'm actually debating. I think I might take my big blue truck on vacation. We usually drive a different vehicle, but you know what? I like it so much, and I like the space in it. It's going to be so much easier to pack. I think I might just say, you know what? We're just going to bring the big blue truck because you can fill up the truck bed. It's an extended cab. It's an easy ride, and I think I might just do that for the vacation. I'm going to run that by the family tonight. But if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, or even a Trailblazer over at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We'll talk to Dom Cotroneo coming up next.
The High Life Dive Bar giveaway is brought to you by Miller High Life. Celebrate local dives with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
But not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot games. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot games. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Avondale Roofing is knocking on your door. Leaking roof? Man, that's a shame. Call the real pros. We running this game. We patch it, thatch it, no need to stress. Our crew shows up and cleans up the mess. No drips, no drafts, no drama at all. Just tight new shingles, then a leak-proof hall. Hey.
It's nothing but Avondale, baby. They keep it dry when the weather gets crazy. Hey.
Visit AvondaleRoofing.com. That is AvondaleRoofing.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
He's coming out, 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 he's coming out. It's there.
At Canopy Wealth Management, they are a fee-based advisory firm. They don't chase commissions, never back gimmicks or instruments that chase single-day returns or put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, and clarity aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. Jim Rutledge, John Adias with you. We are in the Everlight Solar Studios. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are thrilled to be joined for the second time, I feel like in a couple weeks here, by Dom Cotroneo. And Dom, thanks for hopping on with us. And I want to start with a poll question we had out there. And I don't know what your football team is or what your other passion is besides the Brewers, but we did ask the question to our fan base, and Brewers fever is very strong. It is not broken here in Madison, because we asked, would you give up 5 years of the Packers making the playoffs for the Brewers to win a World Series? 80% of fans said, yes, give me the World Series. Now, we had Evan Cohen on from Unsportsmanlike earlier, and he said, ask that in April, because I think right now everyone's in it, and they are feeling all the excitement around the Brewers. But what team would you give up or what would you give up for the Brewers to win a World Series sports-wise? And then what do you think about Evan's take that this is very much a in-the-moment sort of take?
That should be 100% to 0, in my opinion. I think that's a really weak take. A championship over playoffs? That's not even close. Like that's not even a real conversation here. I don't understand how that's even a conversation. But unfortunately, the worst thing about me, boys, and buckle up, like this, the worst thing about me, aside from my amazing hair, is the fact that I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I was born in Texas. I grew up in Dallas, and neither of my parents were football fans. And when you're 7 years old and impressionable and, you don't know any better and everyone's rooting for the Cowboys, I guess I'll root for the Cowboys. Now, I'm not like an insufferable Cowboys fan where it's like I believe in everything Jerry Jones does, because God, no, I don't. And furthermore, I think this team's not very good. So I own it. It's the worst thing about me. I wear it as a chip on my shoulder. And to answer the question, like as a rooting interest, like, I saw some really bad Oakland A's team. That's my baseball team. I saw some really bad Oakland A's teams over the year. I'm like, man, I will never see this team in the World Series. And it's just like, yeah, I'm always going to pick the championship over anything else in front of me.
But speaking about this year, and maybe once again, this is part of the question I'm about to ask. Are we caught up in the moment, or does this year feel different? I know the Brewers obviously were very successful with 93 wins last season, but I don't know, maybe I'm caught up in the moment, but there's something that just feels better.
I think the reason it feels better is because this team is unique from years past, right? The playoff pain of, the last few years, the common denominator was Craig Counsell and or Willie Adames. And so you can instantly say, it's like, all right, well, they're trying something new, and they're trying to put the bat in the ball and not rely on the home run as much. And they have different ways to score. They have healthy pitching at this point going into the postseason, as opposed to like 2021. I think of all the time. Like every time I think back to those numbers of 2021 and that pitching staff, right? It's like, how did that team not win the World Series? Oh yeah, Devin broke his hand, and he should have been pitching in the 8th inning in a couple of those games. So when you think about the way that the Brewers are winning right now, it's fair to like have apprehension of like, well, they haven't done anything in October the last 5 years, last 6 years. And I 100% get that, because that's the most common hesitation I hear from fans. It's like, well, why is this any different? But that's why we play the games. We don't know if it's any different. But imagine the euphoria when this team does finally win a pennant for the first time since 1982. And that, you can't win if you don't play mentality has to come through. It's like, you got to play the games and hope that you throw them out there. There's a reason you've won 70 games. They're good enough to do it this year.
And their pitching is the stuff when I look at it and say, look, that part, I do not see a falter. I do not really see a crack. It's deep. There's a lot of players there. You can lose Miz, bring them back. The hitting, it's different. And that's the part where that's not how teams normally win. It's like in football, they talk about you rather have chunk plays. The Brewers don't have as much power as some of the other teams. They're not going to come back down to earth crashing, but you can look at the Mets, you can look at the Cubs, teams who have proven players on the back of the baseball cards. Their offense is just stopped. It'll probably turn back around, but at some point the Brewers offense has to cool off a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit, of course. And I think every opportunity we get to remind fans, like, there will be another iceberg. There will be another bump in the road. But literally today I was catching up with the Mets broadcasters who came into town early, and the Brewers lost that series in Queens, right? They had the doubleheader, they had the frustrating series, and then they got hot again right after that series. And when Woodruff returned and everything that popped up after that, and the Brewers losing that series against the Marlins last weekend, those are the last 2 series they've lost over the last month plus. Like, when you think about that for a second, there hasn't been another iceberg. There has to be a regression. But then I counter when everybody asks about why are this offense working, they don't hit home runs, all this stuff. Well, when you look back at the date that has been the line of demarcation has been May 25th. That was the start of that first 8-game winning streak. Since May 25th, they're the best offense in baseball in every stat. Now, the counting stats are where it becomes a different story. They're in the middle of the pack for specifically home runs, but they have the best slugging percentage. You have the best OPS. You have the best on-base percentage. You have the best batting average. Best batting average in running and scoring position. So the point being of, they should have got more slug, or their offense makes me scared. But you look at the numbers, and it's like, it shouldn't, because the numbers suggest that they're the best in baseball for the last 2.5 months or so. And I'm going to trust what the team has done for such a large sample size to say, this feels sustainable, this feels doable. And you're not relying on one guy who's going to be hitting 35, 40 homers in a season to say, you better do that in October or we're screwed. Instead, it's all 9 guys have the ability to either go yard, get a situational hit, maybe steal a bag. And that's why, we've never seen a lineup this deep, not necessarily with home runs before. Will it be successful?
How would you describe Andrew Vaughn's contributions since he joined the Brewers? How would you put that into words? And will they be able to get him in the lineup down the road?
Oh, I mean, he ain't coming out of the lineup. I mean, even when Rhys Hoskins comes back healthy, like, he ain't coming out unless he slows down for some reason. I think Rhys understands that too. And I had a podcast with Rhys during spring training. We sat down for a good 20, 30 minutes and just, talked about it all, and talked about one of the things that I learned a lot about Rhys in that interview was, hey, when Jake Bauers hit that home run in Game 3, he was pinch hitting in your spot. Like, does that impact you at all? I just want to win. Like, I do not care. That I wasn't helping us win, Bauers helped us win. So I get the feeling that when Vaughn comes, when Vaughn and Rhys are active and healthy at the same time, Rhys knows, hey, that dude's white hot. Stick with him. I'll be a bench bat, be a bench slugger for you. It's no big deal. But for Vaughn and what he's done at this point, I think the Brewers knew this was in him all along. And sometimes a little different messaging works. And I think people forget, yes, he was a 3rd-round pick, or a 3rd overall pick. Yes, he was a Golden Spikes Award winner of the College Baseball Heisman Trophy. The dude had 3 managers in 4 seasons in the big leagues. Like, think about that for a second. How hard is that to have different messaging all the time? You're on the worst team in baseball. You set a record for the worst record in Major League Baseball history last year. That has to wear on a guy mentally. And to come to here and say, A, we're not relying on you for all of the offense. And B, yeah, you can take a walk. Yeah, we love walks here. And it's like, oh, yeah, I am allowed to take pitches and not feel like I'm the only guy that can provide offense for the team. And he fits in so perfectly in the middle of this order where it's like, you get afraid to have Prime Yelly, Vaughn, Contreras, Terang all raking, and then you can imagine in the playoffs maybe you're facing lefty Reese comes in off the bench as a DH. Sign me up. I think what Vaughn has done fits this lineup perfectly.
So, looking at this team, who scares you in the NL that says this team could give us a problem in the playoffs?
For me, it's the West. It's the Padres and the Dodgers. Because, look, the Padres already have won a series against the Brewers here, and that was when neither of those teams could score a run to save their life. But you look at that bullpen now for San Diego, it's built a lot like the Brewers, where they have a 4 or 5-headed monster in the back end that if you're trailing, you ain't coming back. The thing that scares me about the Dodgers, even though the Brewers went 6-0 against them, is the Brewers got to miss Snell. I know they beat up Yamamoto. They got to miss Ohtani on the mound. They got Glasnow twice. They got to him once. They didn't get to him another time. So seeing that rotation come back into form gets me a little nervous. But for the Padres, they have just enough offense to freak you out. And their bullpen just terrifies me. Those two teams are really darn good. And remember, the Brewers faced the Padres the final week of the regular season. It's the last 3 road games of the year. And the Padres are going to be playing for something. I mean, the Brewers, those last 6 games of the year, Padres and Reds, those are going to matter. All 6 of those games for the opponent. We don't know yet if it's going to matter for the Brewers. So you're going to be stressed all the way to the final week of the season this year.
More hypotheticals for you then. Let's say this season, because we're all hyped and excited for 70 wins and everything that the Brewers have done. Let's say this season goes the way of last year, and you're out in the playoffs. You don't win a series. You don't advance. How do you view a season like the Brewers have had without the postseason success?
That's a great question. I think the thought is, okay, you keep tearing it down to the studs. You keep saying no more payroll, no more payroll, no more payroll, and the same result keeps happening. So then you kind of turn it back and saying, what more can you do? Like, you found the ceiling of what you have in front of you. Granted, I think this team is going to win a playoff round, and I believe that wholeheartedly because the numbers match it up, the team matches it up, the leadership matches it up. I hope we won't have that hypothetical come true. But the fact of the matter is, payroll's been pretty flat. And yes, they keep making the playoffs. And yes, there is some merit and some sort of, proud ability to say, yes, they keep making the playoffs. It'll be 7 out of 8 years coming up here soon. But to say you haven't won a playoff series since 2018, you become the Minnesota Twins of the 2000s, right? Of always running into the Yankees and not being able to get by them. And I don't think anybody wants to deal with that hypothetical. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I would be really frustrated if it happens again this year because I think this team's the best they've had since 2018. I really do think this is the best team they've had since 2018.
Pat Murphy's obviously running a great staff, and the team's winning, and everyone's behind him. Is there a concern, again, looking to the future here? Because, look, everything's great with the team of, and this isn't a negative, but brain drain. Like, someone could come after the Brewers bench coach or pitching coach, or are there coaches on the Brewers staff where you're like, this guy is as important as Pat Murphy to the team's success, and the Brewers got to figure out how to keep him around?
You'd be surprised. Coaches don't really move around a lot in baseball, not quite like college football or the NFL.
I mean more like a promotion,
taking
like
lateral
coming
moves.
in for a manager, like that sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I think Ricky Weeks would only manage in Milwaukee, if that's what you're getting at. And I don't see him getting a job somewhere else to be their manager. Maybe Arizona comes calling for some reason, or Seattle comes calling for some reason. And remember, the Brewers re-upped Chris Hook this past offseason. That was their most important free agent get this past offseason. They re-upped him to a multi-year deal to keep him here in the Brewers as their pitching coach. And it's funny, our friends on WTMJ asked me that this morning about Matt Arnold's contract status. Is he sticking around? What's the deal with him, given Stearns got the chance to go back to do his hometown team? I haven't asked Matt about his contract status, but I also don't strike him as a guy that wants to go find greener pastures at this point. He's got a really good thing going here. And when you're doing this well as you have, this isn't something you mess around with. You keep going, you keep riding this wave and keep on winning games. And I think the Brewers have a really good system in place. I will say the biggest departure was not Craig Counsell. but rather Q Barry. That dude's going to be a manager one day. And the fact that he's a third base coach now for the Cubs, he was a big reason why the Brewers were such a great base running team last year. They're still a good base running team this year, but last year they were, unreal because of Q Barry.
Dom, awesome stuff as always. I'm sure as the Brewers keep on winning, we'll try to get you a few more times as they make their playoff run.
They're making it really easy on me on post-game show. I'm due for some sort of really doom and gloom type show coming up here. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Dom. Make sure to, if you want to, as a Wisconsin sports fan, join our fantasy football league. It is your chance. It's going to be over in Milwaukee. You can call to join the ESPN Wisconsin Fantasy League and go head-to-head with Jim, Matt, and Molly as you draft your championship team. We're talking food, free food, great prizes, and the full VIP experience, all for fans 21 and up. What callers am I doing here?
Let's do caller number 6 and 7.
Caller number 6 and caller number 7, 844-770-3776. Caller number, you said 6 and 7?
6 and 7.
Caller number 6 and caller number 7, 844-770-3776. You will be, you'll have a spot. You got 48 hours to claim that spot. Caller number 6, caller number 7, 844-770-3776.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
So, random Marlin player, Dan Ugla.
All that's going through my head right now is UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
I'll give you another one real quick before we get to our side of the poll question.
You ugla. You ugla.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here to tell you about the delicious Odyssey Brands, a family-owned company crafting award-winning cheese right here in Wisconsin for over 4 generations. Made with locally sourced milk, Odyssey brings bold, Greek-style flavors straight to your table. From savory, crumbly feta to rich and creamy Greek yogurt, every bite is a taste of tradition and quality. You can find Odyssey products at most major retailers nationwide and online. Odyssey, crafted in Wisconsin, loved everywhere, dairy done right.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. With a legacy of excellence and an extensive selection of quality Ford vehicles, it's the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com. Or visit them on the east side of Madison today.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 12th.
Cotroneo sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in August 12th at 6:40 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Oh yeah, round and round they go. I get around, still clown with the underground when we come around. Around and round they go.
Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. So go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Jim Rutledge, John Audius with you. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. And you can stream us on the ESPN Madison YouTube and the ESPN Madison app, ESPN Wisconsin app, excuse me. And we're going to throw some stones here.
1, 2, 3, up.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man. I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, let's. Were you going to set this up, Ryan? You hopped on there.
Sorry, no, that was my bad. I was trying to email or message one of our callers on the talking text line. Mitch, something's coming your way, by the way. But this is our Throwing Stones segment where we let it all out. We let out the takes that's been burning inside of us, whether it's hot, cold, or just chill. Now, John, you sent something to Jim and I this morning about something that caught your eye that you are very excited to talk about.
I saw the Daily Ranker Top 10 Sports Video Game Characters.
Okay.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you see me wearing this old school Air Jordan shirt circa late 90s. So my opinion on these characters are biased because I kind of got out of the video game world as I grew up, but they're top 5, and maybe you know a little bit more about some of these than I would, Primetime. But number 5, John Dowd, who was Barry Bonds and MVP baseball of 2005, apparently unstoppable because Bonds was obviously unstoppable then. Number 4, Mike Tyson from Punch-Out. Number 3, Bo Jackson from Tecmo Bowl. I don't know who this is. Pablo Sanchez, Backyard Sports.
Anybody? You don't know Pablo Sanchez of Backyard Sports?
Can you fill me in on this?
Okay, so you know Backyard Sports? It was the old video game, computer game.
Okay.
That you would play. Basically, you could play baseball, football, soccer. It's any sport under the sun, and it's just all these animated characters, but it's the same like characters throughout each game. It's the idea that these are all just people in like a backyard rec sports league. One of them's Pablo Sanchez. Pablo Sanchez is like the Patrick Mahomes of every sport he's ever played.
Oh, he's just all-around athlete.
Oh, he's like Bo Jackson wishes. Like, truly, Bo Jackson couldn't touch him if he tried.
That's probably why he's not number 2, huh?
He's Barry Sanders in football. He's Barry Bonds in baseball. He's pretty much like Prime D Rose in basketball. Like, he's unstoppable in anything he does. I'm surprised he's only 4.
He's 2.
He's 2?
He's 2.
All
he's
right.
number 2. Number 1, 2004 Madden, Michael Vick was unstoppable. I would put, and once again, this is biased, and this is coming from my memories as like a 9 or 10-year-old child. But if you ever got to Mike Tyson on Punch-Out, you know what I'm talking about. The only time I did, I was at a Shopko or a Kmart back in the day or whatever.
Okay.
And you look at the Nintendo magazine and they had the code how to just get to Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went on their little thing and I did it, and I lasted 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because Tyson was so dominant. you literally could not do anything. At least with Bo Jackson, you could tackle him every once in a while. I mean, Tecmo Bo was unstoppable, but I would have to put Mike Tyson there because if you ever fought Tyson in Punch-Out, you know what you literally, he would just swing and you would fall. You couldn't do anything.
Now, do you know the lore of the Bo Jackson and Mike Tyson here, Ryan, or is this way before you?
Bo Jackson, definitely. There is a really popular 30 for 30 about him. Bo knows.
No, look up Tecmo Bo.
Tecmo Bo.
Oh, but they talk about it in that one, too.
Okay.
They highlight all of that. He was like the most overpowered video game character of the era. And it was just like, you could basically, like, the way that the graphics worked back then were insufferable to even watch. It seemed like you could go straight, left, right,
Dude, it
up,
was amazing.
down. But basically,
that game was elite.
He was just running like twice as fast as everyone on the field.
And you couldn't tackle him. And there's a clip on YouTube, if you pull it up, it's quite entertaining. Someone basically ran around the field for an entire quarter and then scored a touchdown at the end. Just going back and forth, up and down the field. That's how dominant Bo Jackson was in that game.
I mean, it's from what I know as a youngin' who was born in 1999, 26 years old as of today.
Happy birthday. Yeah, we are long overdue with that.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, we did it all on the text line, didn't do it.
We sure did.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say Evan was the first one of the group to wish me happy birthday today, but wasn't fishing for happy birthdays.
No, you mean as a group overall or on the air?
On the show today.
Gotcha.
Yes. As a group overall, no. I've gotten like 100 birthday messages, which has honestly been kind of annoying. So thank you guys for not saying anything. Anywho. But from what I know about Bo Jackson, just in real life, like he was like an actual like Paul Bunyan of like sports. Like he was a mythical character. He was basically a video game character coming to life. So the game had to reflect that then, right? I mean, that's the only way it's accurate.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a glitch.
Oh
no, I think he and Randall Cunningham were like unstoppable.
True. Yeah,
Randall Cunningham is another
that game
one.
was so great because there was like, if you called the right play, you get this like flash of like it was basically a screenshot, and it'd be like oh man, something big. Like you knew you were hitting your play big.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
what? The screen would flash?
It'd be like it would feel like a. Basically like a cut-in. And it'd be like this picture of like someone doing like a stiff arm.
And
you'd be like,
got a big play. Yeah.
This is happening. And so like you were excited because you knew something big was going to happen. And it was honestly, I don't know what the algorithm or whatever for it was basically like if you called the right play and you're playing against your friend and they called the wrong defense.
Done.
It was like it was going to happen. Like you see the ball fly down the field and you knew it was going to be caught for a touchdown.
That was like the greatest thing in the world as a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor was dominant in that game too.
Yeah.
I guess I would go with Mike Tyson because I don't know anyone who's beaten Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson Punch-Out. But I would say otherwise.
Is there no Buster Douglas in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
No, you fight Mike Tyson. You start with Mr. Glass or something like that.
Glass Joe or
Glass
something.
Joe. Yeah, something like that.
Glass Joe?
Yeah, and then you beat him and then you work your way up. But it was impossible to get to Mike.
Impossible to get to, and then I'm telling you, I've seen videos of people beating him. I'm like, I feel like they're cheating.
You know who I think could beat Mike Tyson in that game? Is Matt from Wii Sports Resort. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Did you guys ever play Wii Sports
No.
like, with your kids at all?
No.
Like
I
late
played
2000s?
We had it at the house for a little bit recently, but it's like the bowling.
I thought you were going to
Okay.
say
all
Jake
we really
Paul,
do.
by the way. but
Nah,
no.
yeah, Jake Paul. Well, he did beat him. I beat him, quote unquote, whatever. But no, Matt from Wii Sports. So Wii Sports, very similar to backyard baseball, backyard sports, where Wii Sports you just play like every sport under the sun and you can just pick the same characters every time. Matt was like the OP character in every sport. Like if you tried to box him in the Wii Sports game, or by the way, that's where you're using the two controllers and you're actually throwing the controllers like you're punching someone.
Okay.
So you're like quote unquote getting exercise while doing this stuff.
It sounds like the Nintendo
Boxing
had
champion.
Nintendo had a glove.
Yes, you could even get the glove. You could get like
No, I'm saying Nintendo back in the day, like Mike Tyson
the power
Punch-Out,
glove?
the power glove. You could.
really.
Yeah, it was one glove.
Mike Tyson went all in on this game, didn't he?
Well, it was more than just the power glove was the biggest disappointment in probably all of
Yeah, it
games
wasn't-
because you were supposed to be able to play like because I had a controller on it too,
Oh.
and you could play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but you could do other things in theory. But just like in Duck Hunt, it barely worked. Like it couldn't pick up that well, or you're plugged in and it didn't pick up the movement that well. But
was too ahead of its time.
there's a great
Yes.
movie. I think
Wizard.
It's called, well, yes, but another one called 8-Bit. I think it's or 60. It's on HBO Max. It stars the actor Doogie Howser. All of a sudden, his name is escaping me, but
Oh yes,
Neil Patrick
Harris.
So he like starts in it, but like it goes back to his youth when Nintendo came out, and it talks about like the one friend in your neighborhood who had Nintendo, and like that all of a sudden was the most popular kid, and that kid had the Power Glove, and then they kind of reference it in there. But it's a really fun movie, kind of nostalgia '80s when Nintendo came out and what it was like to try to get one.
Well, Matt from Wii Sports was there would put him all to shame. I'll say that. He was essentially like, if you tried to box him, it felt like you were fighting Mike Tyson. He had a goatee and everything. He was bald. He was impossible to beat. And if you played with him in baseball, like he's Babe Ruth. He's Andrew Vaughn.
I will say the NBA games have gotten too involved. Like I used to be able to play them, and like I stopped playing games for a while. I picked
What do you
up
mean, too involved?
Like now it's like you have to pull off every move. So if you want to do like a shake and bake on it's like you have to play. Like
you're missing shots and it's not fun.
You have to it's all of a sudden contra. It's like up down left right up down to pull off a spin move to the baseline. You're like, I don't actually. Can I just hit B and spin to the baseline? I don't want to have to do this sort of drop step because I got to drop the controller, drop my shoulder with the other controller, and so I gave up. And Madden mode too, because I've gotten the games a little bit. Impossible.
Yeah,
I'm not
all Madden mode? Yeah.
I'm not a professional quarterback. Can you give me a little grace here?
Yeah, make it a little fun.
And same with the NBA games. Like I bought one a couple years ago, and I barely played it because I'm like, I don't have the time to commit to learn how to play NBA basketball, which is basically what's happening here.
I totally know what you're talking about. I did the same thing in COVID. I bought NBA, 2K, whatever.
You know what's funny?
Too much.
What's funny enough is I've actually heard that I've never really played like MLB 2K or any of the baseball games, but I've heard that those games have actually gotten really good. Yeah. And that they're very easy and like very fun to play, which for a long time they were very vanilla.
The baseball one I got a couple years ago, it was enjoyable. It's just too long. I just ended up, I feel like for Madden, you can play a couple you do a career mode, a franchise mode, you play a few seasons. I feel like I didn't get through 1 year with the baseball because you don't want to sim the whole thing and then you're trying to play these games and there's so many. Yeah. But I think it was adaptive. Like I played FIFA, like you could, like I don't know if you rented or like a free trial on like the Xbox sort of live thing, and it's adaptive. So FIFA was fun where it's like, all right, when I got better, it would get harder, and then if it was too hard, it would turn back down. And it's like, I hope games go like that with AI where it's like, it'll kind of just challenge you to your level.
Dude, AI games are going to be insane because you're basically just going to be like, I want to play this random game, and you can make up the game and you're going to be able to play it. So, yeah, I hope AI can handle that because that's more fun to do it that way.
Yeah, AI might ruin all video games, though, too.
AI is going to ruin a lot of things.
Well,
video games might be the one thing that actually can improve.
For me, it's still important. 26 years old, video games still an important part of my life.
Right, but I actually think video games would get better from it. I think there's other things where you have to worry about it.
I think video games will be very big beneficiary of that.
I'm scared of change, guys. Okay,
It'll be fun.
Just let me be scared.
All right. Well, I think video games are like the first of the AI, but...
Yeah, probably. Okay, look, maybe I'm overreacting.
One thing I'm asking for is that the college football game has actually been a good blend of it's not impossible to play at the highest level. Like once you play it for a little bit, you can kind of play Heisman mode and you can build up your team. You build up your team, you can have a bunch of top-notch players. They're coming out with a basketball one for it. Ooh. I just don't 2K it. Don't make it where I have to spend days upon days learning how to maneuver the guy and make all these moves to the basketball game to be able to play it.
Now, in the college football game, correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen clips online, I have not played it, but like if you're on the road and you're trying to hit a game-winning field goal, like it goes like the little chart or whatever, the little...
everything just starts to shake.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like it's really hard to do. That makes sense. That's fun.
Kicking in the college football game is not easy. It is stressful. That is a stressful event.
Really?
It feels good to make a game-winning kick.
You feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah.
You really do. You're like, I could kick for the Badgers.
Yeah. At least I can handle the pressure of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most important part.
All right. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We'll wrap you up next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
the biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
Bruner Realty and ESPN Madison have teamed up again for the 5th annual Putts for Pups golf outing benefiting the Dane County Humane Society. Join us for a day of golf at Blackhawk Country Club on September 19th. Since it started in 2021, Putts for Pups has raised over $120,000 for the Dane County Humane Society. Donate or find out how you can get involved at putsforpups.com. Putts for Pups is proudly sponsored by Badgerland Exteriors, Alts Operations, Zimbrick Automotive, and Vortex Optics.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Wrapping up Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. It is the Primetime Lorsheim birthday edition of Jim, Matt, and Molly. So, again, happy birthday to Primetime Lorsheim. If you want to text in 844-770-3776 to wish him a happy birthday on the Carbos Talking text line. List is more. Feel free to do that. I know Mitch did as well. It's one of those things, John Adias, Jim Rutledge, with Primetime Lorsheim in the Everlight Solar Studio where you do it. You wish him a happy birthday in private, and you forget, like, oh, we got to do it on the air, too. So,
you don't have to do it on the air.
Well, we want to, but, like, you know, it's you forget, like, oh, like how many times it almost feels like a Seinfeld thing or a Curb Your Enthusiasm things. Because in the office, there's someone's like, oh, it's Ryan's birthday, and it's like, well, I already wished him happy. Like, how many times do you wish someone a happy birthday in one day?
Because the thing, I'll be honest, I was getting a little peeved this morning. 7 a.m. or actually 6:30 in the morning. People start texting in our office group chat, "Happy birthday, Ryan!" Like 3 people, and I'm like, this better not be a thing all day. I can't.
Why?
Because it's just like you're responding to text messages all morning. My entire morning is just taken up by responding to texts, and I appreciate all of them. But at the same time, like especially group chats just pile on top of each other. The proper thing to do in there is if somebody else says, if enough people already say happy birthday, you don't feel the need to chime in, I think.
At what age do you start to feel old?
So I'm turning 26.
You probably don't feel old yet. You probably feel closer to 20 than you do to 30.
I mean, that's the thing is I'm technically closer to 30 now.
I know,
than
but
I
you
am to
probably
20.
feel the opposite way. Am I right? Because I remember in my 20s, I was like, I feel like I'm 19.
I feel like a child still. I don't feel like any sort of adult even remotely at this point.
The true old part was not 40. It was honestly turning 45 for me. Like for some reason, not a full-on midlife crisis, but I was like, oh, I'm 45. Like that just felt older. Chad, and I guess as you get older, there could be different milestones. One of our marketing consultants, Chad Hopper, said 50 was kind of hard for him because you're like, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have crossed the Rubicon or whatever. Like you were over the halfway point.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Well, I mean, 45
like,
is over the halfway.
Right.
40 is over the halfway point.
It easily could be, and especially for, let's get all nihilistic here, but especially for like a quality of life sort of thing. Like, yeah my grandma lived to 100, but last 5-6 years, I mean.
When did you guys start having just like the general like random aches and pains? Just in life? I want to know what I need to prepare for.
I would say late 30s for me.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, so I got a lot of time.
Yeah,
I got time. Okay,
especially ones that like you can't. It's like you can't attribute to something. Like I might have had
Just
something
pops up out of
earlier,
nowhere.
but it's like, all right, well, I played a ton of basketball when I was younger, and I twisted my ankle and my knee a couple times. So like maybe in my earlier 30s, like that would start to get bothered if I played more. But it was like a reason. It's like, all right, I already have a bulky knee or an ankle, and I'm playing a ton of basketball. It might bother me some, and I might have to take a break for a little bit or ice it after. Like that's the first step is when you realize you have to start icing and stretching. After doing or before you do athletic things, or
I have to stretch
after.
every morning.
Yeah.
My back hurts every morning.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm in PT for shoulder impingement because I don't have full range of motion.
My shoulder started hurting in October for no reason and lasted all the way up until the summer.
Us old guys, man.
Yeah,
It's tough.
All right, well, we'll talk about being old. Jason Wilde joins us tomorrow, so you can talk about being old with us.
Shot.
It's not a shot. It's not mean to say that you're old. No Brewers baseball tonight. Amber and Ian coming up next. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking